Hello and welcome to No Rest for the Weekend, where we go behind the scenes and talk to the creators of independent entertainment. I'm Jason Godbey, and with me today via Zoom, he is the founder of the Tonkawa Film Festival, good friend of mine, making his triumphant return to the broadcast, Mr. James Oxford. Welcome, James.
Hello, how you doing?
I'm doing good, man. It's good to see you,
Good to see you too.
even if it's through a computer.
That's right.
So I want to talk about because we just we had an episode recently that recapped the festival. My first question is, am I saying the name right?
No.
So how do you say? How is it pronounced? How's the
It's
proper pronunciation?
it's a Tonkawa.
Tonkawa.
Yeah,
Not what was I was saying it like it was Japanese, but I guess
Chikawa.
it's like, yeah. So
Yeah.
Tonkawa.
I think it's a New
Tonkawa
York.
film.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
it's a
well,
New York thing.
yeah, we just pronounce stuff however we like. Uh, but okay, so Tonkawa Film Festival, and that's in Tonkawa, Oklahoma, right?
That's correct.
Now, that's your hometown?
Born and raised. Yep.
Is it like a suburb of a city? Is it like, and kind of what inspired you to bring a film festival there?
It is nowhere near a city. It is a small farm town of about 3,000 people. It's about 20 miles south of the Kansas border in north central Oklahoma. It's about an hour and a half away from the nearest airport and the nearest city. So it is truly the middle of nowhere. And my parents are, cattle ranchers, and so that a lot of people from where I'm from, that's what they do. They're either farmers or they're cattle ranchers, and then various other types of things. But yeah, so it's its own little place in the middle of nowhere. But as far as why we decided to start a film festival, it actually started about 6 years ago. We had done our first short film, The Demon Deep in Oklahoma, and one of the very first film festivals we attended, my parents attended with us, and I'm not going to name the name of the festival out of respect for them. It was not good.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was very unorganized. Half the movies wouldn't play. And they had been going for 15 to 20 years. Like, this was not their first film festival. They had been doing this every year for well over 15 years. And so at the time, my mom had said, I bet we could do a better film festival than this. I'm like, it would be fun to do at some point. We just have to wait till the time is right. So cut to 5 or 6 years later, and my mom was elected the president of the Chamber of Commerce last year. And so we thought this might be the right time to try to organize an event like that in Tonkawa, and do it as an event through the Chamber of Commerce. And one of the things I'd said all along was, when we do it, I want to be able to be in a position to do it and organize it in the way that I want to, so that I can use the experience that I've had going to film festivals all over the country and other parts of the world, and take the things that they did well and incorporate that. And then I also wanted to take all the things that they did not well and make sure that we avoided those same mistakes, which they were completely open to. So about a year ago, about this time last year, I flew to Oklahoma and I just presented to the community. I worked up a kind of a presentation. We had the mayor and his wife, and we have a small 2-year college in my hometown called the Northern Oklahoma College. We had representatives from there. We had representatives from the Arts Council, and then just various community members there, who most of them had never been to a film festival, had no idea what goes on at a film festival or what exactly that is. And so I just kind of presented to them, here is what one is. And then 2, here is kind of my vision for what one would look like in Tonkawa, because I wanted us to be honest about it. I said, let's be clear that we are a small town. We are in the middle of nowhere. We are not the film capital of the world. We do not have mountains and skiing. We do not have beaches and oceans. We do not have all those things that a lot of film festivals build around. You know, you go to the Vale Film Festival, or you go to Sundance, or you go to, the LA Film Festival. There's other things to do while you're at a film festival. I'm like, we're going to have to entertain people the whole time this is going on. So I was honest with them about what the hurdles were going to be that we would have to overcome. And everybody was on board. They're like 100%, whatever we need to do to overcome those hurdles, let's do it. But then we also talked about the things that made Tonkawa a great place to have a film festival, which was, it is a small town. So because it's small, with very little money and not requiring a massive number of people, we can turn the town into a film festival town for that weekend. We're not going to be a drop in the bucket. We're going to be the thing that's going on in that town that weekend. And so the other thing I wanted to do, kind of like a spoiled child, was I wanted a parade. And so from the get-go, I was like, I want a parade. I've never seen one at a film festival before. I want something that makes us unique. And I think that would be something that was being interesting, because I grew up riding in parades, on our horses. We always rode our horses in the parade for Christmas and homecoming and various other things. And so I was like, I want to do that. I think that's a fun hometown experience to give the town and to also give the filmmakers. So anyway, so that's how it originated. So we, like I said, about this time last year is when we started, and we have the college, which has really nice facilities. So, we had good video quality, we had good sound quality, we had a nice, big, beautiful theater, which was important to me as well. As a filmmaker, I know what it's like to go to a film festival and not even be able to see my film, or not be able to hear it, or be set up in some weird little room on the side of a hotel somewhere with a tiny little screen set up. And which is fine, you work with what you have, but I knew what we had was something that was better than that. I knew we had something that would really be a great experience. So we started, everybody jumped in, pitched in, and I didn't even know what I was doing. I've never organized a film festival before. Attending one and organizing one are two completely different things. But we dived in and pulled it off. It went really well. We were very proud of it.
Very cool, man. And, it's so funny because I forget this about you, because, you're a film producer and you're a finance guy, but you're also a cowboy. like, like you're like an Oklahoma cowboy. And, it's an interesting sort of dichotomy, especially, you having, been here in the city and worked in the film industry and so forth. With the start of this, I noticed that you chose to, besides the screening of Walking Out, which we reviewed, you decided to go with short films. Was that the plan all along? Was you were just going to make it a shorts festival, or do you want to do features and series and stuff in the future? Was this just kind of like the best thing for now, or is this you just want to highlight short filmmakers?
It's a combination of things. To be honest, we knew that it was just like we were being honest with ourselves about what the pros and cons were. And one of them was the fact that we're not going to have a massive audience. There's not hundreds of thousands of people to try to market to and try to get to come to this festival. We have the citizens of our town, and then we have the surrounding communities, but even the surrounding communities are relatively small and not all that familiar with filmmaking and film festivals. And so I knew that we wanted to make that the time that we were together be impactful. And so one of the things was I only wanted to be screening one film at a time. I didn't want to have multiple venues screening at the same time, because I'm not going to have enough people to fill all those venues at the same time. I'm going to have 5 people here and 2 people here. And that's not fair. One, that makes the film going experience just, for me, lackluster. And 2, it doesn't feel fair to the filmmaker. I want to give them, because again, I've been in their shoes, I want to give them an experience that just really feels amazing and it feels good. And to have as many eyes on your film as possible is what we're all striving for at the end of the day. And so because of that, I also knew that because this was a new thing, but maybe even for the foreseeable future, um, you know, I don't think I could pull off a film festival in Tonkawa that lasted a week, and so if I'm screening one movie at a time, and then I start pulling in features. I mean, I show 5 features that took up my whole day, and so I really felt like features is just wasn't the right fit for a festival like ours. Could that change in the future? It could. It's not our target. We're not saying, eventually this is going to be a 6-day film festival and we're going to have everything. We're going to be a mini South by Southwest. We're not striving for that. If we inadvertently end up there, great. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But at the same time, I did want to create, again, like I was saying earlier, there's not other things for people who are coming in from out of town to do while they're there. So I need to keep everyone entertained the whole time they were there. And I wanted to create just unique experiences for my town. It was really important to me to bring what I've experienced in the world and what I've encountered and people I've met, to bring that to my hometown. And so I've been very fortunate to meet a lot of filmmakers who have had, some reasonable amount of success in this industry, and to, beg, barter, and steal to get them to be a part. And so I was like, screening one feature film, not as part of a competition, but as just a special event, I think would be something exciting and interesting. And one of the things that I said when I was on stage, when I would announce, each night I would kind of give an introduction to the festival. And one of the things I tried to explain to people was, I said, what makes a film festival unique from any other filmmaking experience, or not filmmaking, film going experience, is you are literally sitting in the audience with the people who made the movies that you're watching. And I take that for granted. I think a lot of us take for granted how unusual of an experience that is for most people. And then like our feature film that we screened, Walking Out, Alex Smith has become a dear friend of ours. He lives here in upstate New York, not far from us as well. He lives in Woodstock. And his wife, the actress Dana Wheeler Nicholson, and he coincidentally, even before I'd already asked him if I could use his film. I'm like, can I screen your film as a special event? He said, of course, I'd be happy to do it. It turned out he was actually doing a short-term teaching assignment at the University of Tulsa in Oklahoma the same time when the festival was going. Just very random, had no idea. So he was able to attend, and then his wife flew down from New York and came. So just fortunate in general that I had that film, that I had people like that who were so generous with their time. So having him there to screen that movie, and to have him there to talk about the filmmaking experience, it was cool. It was a really amazing experience.
How did it work in terms of like, was it, because this is the first, so this is like the litmus test, so to speak. How was it for the people there? I'm assuming a lot of this was the first film festival they ever attended. Was it met well? Did it have a good reception?
It went really well. And I will be honest, that was my big concern with the festival, was how would they react to this experience? Would this be something they enjoyed? I will say from the get-go, just in the planning process, the community was very excited about it, but I was concerned about when we actually held the festival, would they enjoy what they were seeing? Would they find these interesting? Did they enjoy short films? Most people weren't even aware that short films were a thing that people made. One of my friends from high school even asked me, she goes, so it's a short film festival. Are we just watching a bunch of movie trailers, or is that what it is? So, and I don't blame them. If you're not around this, you just don't realize what exists and what all various forms of media and ways that people make films. So it was very well taken in. And the other thing, to be honest, was, it is Oklahoma, is a more conservative part of the country. Though I will say I have always felt fortunate that my hometown has always seemed to be a very art-centric town. For a small farm town, art's always been a big thing there. And I don't know if it's the fact that we have the college. I don't know what to attribute that to. And that it's been a relatively more open-minded group of people, especially for where it's located. But there were a handful of films that I chose that before I screened them, I literally just kind of closed my eyes and pushed play and hoped that people wouldn't get offended and walk out.
Yeah, I mean that's a thing. Like if yeah, I tell people all the time that it's important to like engage your media, engage your film, your series, whatever, with like real people, with people who are not in the business. Because let's face it, when most of the time when you go to film festivals, who is it? It's you and a bunch of filmmakers watching each other's films. But like this is really great because now you've got people who probably normally wouldn't see this type of thing, going out to see it, and they're like audience. They're like real people. They're not just a bunch of filmmakers, which I think is terrific because then you get real audience reaction. Like if you're a filmmaker, you actually get to see what like real people think of your movie, and not just a bunch of film snobs sitting there going like this, waiting for their movie to play. I think it's great that you did this. But you really, the timing was great because you kind of just got it in under the wire, you know. But I know that you want to plan a second one. But how do you see that happening now with all of this, with the crisis and people, we're going to be at home and here at least until May something, and probably later than that. So, how do you see the future of that, or can you even like think about it at this point?
I have thought about it, and I think about it in a few different ways. One is, I think that our next festival is in May of 2021. So that is, a year and a month away from literally today. And I feel like things will have gotten better and we'll have a film festival. And if they haven't gotten better by May of 2021, this film festival will be the least of anyone's concerns. And so, I haven't put a lot of thought into going virtual. Not that we couldn't, but I think that it is something that, as we get closer, and I will, I'm going to take that in consideration. We are going to be accepting films clear through the end of January of next year. And so, when we get to that point in time, we'll see where the world is at that point in time, and then start to come up with a plan for, what if we are still in a situation where people can't physically come to a festival? What would that look like? Of course, festivals that are bigger and have actual budgets that they work off of, we have $0 budget that we work off of. Every penny that the festival, our entire budget was just literally from either submissions or ticket sales, which worked out really well. We brought in enough money to put on the festival the way we wanted to. But as far as, investing a great deal of money in some sort of high-tech virtual film watching experience, I don't know if we'd be in a position to do that. You also have to keep in mind that a physical film festival is very different from a virtual experience, as far as not all filmmakers are going to want to be a part of that. It's one thing when you say we're going to physically show your film, they're like, yes, that's what I signed up for. But if we determine we want to go virtual, we then are going to have to give the filmmakers the ability to opt in. Do they want their films online? As much as you protect that, there's going to be people, and I don't blame them, who have a concern of, is that secure? Are people just able to download my movie? What does that entail? So I think if it gets closer, we'll look at what kind of experience we could create in lieu of a physical festival. But as of right now, I think it's too soon. If our festival was in the fall, then of course we'd have to be making those kinds of plans right now. But since it's over a year away, I think we have time to kind of see how this plays out. and then we'll go from there.
For you, you kind of lucked out in that way where you just got it in under the wire, and now you got a little time to plan. Hopefully, too, what else I was going to say, too, about the fest, what you guys did that I liked was that publicize, you were able to publicize some of the shorts and stuff that were screened there. So if something was online, you put them out, you shared them, and gave those films an audience that they probably wouldn't have gotten, and maybe gave them more than they would from, say, another festival who maybe doesn't care as much about shorts. So I like that as well. And we reviewed some of the shorts, and they were all quality, which I thought was great. And if you're going to submit to this film festival, like, it's good to know that you're kind of in good company. you know. But yeah, I'm really curious. Maybe we'll have this conversation again and see, what it's like. For you personally, I know you guys make films. What's your docket like in terms of, because I know that the last time we talked, you guys were putting a feature together. You're going to try, so like, where is that, and what are you guys thinking for the future for you?
The last time we spoke, and I know it's been a little while back, we had put that feature on hold and had started working. So, Lance, my husband, is the writer, and he has been working on a pilot, a series with a co-writer, which is something new for him, and he's been working on that. And that's where his focus has been. But we are starting to redirect our attention back to a feature, and we're just trying to take advantage of this time to do some planning and really think things out. A lot of times, we're so busy and we're so rushed that it's just full steam ahead, and we'll figure it out as we go. And so we're actually kind of putting a little bit more planning in place, which is exciting, and doing a lot of research. So we're working on a lookbook right now for the feature, and which is not something we've done before, and we want to really do this the right way. And because we want the film to find the right producers, we want it to find the right actors. And so we really want to make sure that the vision is crystal clear as to what that film is, we want it to look like. We have the benefit that the feature we're working on is the feature version of the short that we did 5 years ago, The Demon Deacon, Oklahoma. And so we have that short film, which does a good job of kind of capturing the tone and feel of what the feature would be like. Though the feature takes place 25 years before the short takes place. So that's good. But yeah, other than that, we're also working on, we have some really cool, unique ideas for things we're literally doing in this house. So we've got the equipment, we have the lights and the cameras and sound and things here. So we're like, take advantage of it. So we're doing some fun stuff. Like I said, in a time like this, there are no rules. There's no expectations to how something needs to look or how it needs to be shot or how long it needs to be. So, we're doing this. Everybody else should do the same thing, which is just go for it. Think of something, try it, see how it comes out. If it doesn't come out good, don't put it online. And if it does, put it online. So, so that's what we're doing. We're just, like I said, we're trying to educate ourselves, and we're just trying to experiment and just do some fun things and see what comes of it.
I mean, I know this is going to be a big change in the industry, and I think it's going to be, content will be king, and whoever can make content under these circumstances is going to find themselves, at the top of the pile. But certainly, hopefully, there's no pressure right now to do any of that stuff because we're all stressed out and anxious and not knowing what the future is going to be. But hey, man, I'm going to wrap up, but it was great to have you. And for anybody who wants to know more about you, the festival, where can they find you guys on the web?
As far as the festival, it's tonkawafilmfestival.com. We're on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, so they can follow us there. The website's really nice. It's got a lot of information. It's a good place to you can sign up for the newsletter. So we send out newsletters ever so often to keep people updated on when the official dates are announced and when submissions are open and things like that. Buy tickets. And then myself, I'm James E. Oxford on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram. I think I'm Upstate Okie. And then Water Gun Outlaw is our production company, and it's Water Gun Outlaw pretty much across all the social media, as well as watergunoutlaw.com.
All right, thanks so much, man. I'm going to let you go, but hopefully we'll stay in touch. And good luck to you guys. And keep me updated. Keep us updated on what's happening with the festival and everything.
Absolutely, we'll do that.
All right, thanks, man. And thank you so much for taking this trip down the rabbit hole. For more of our content, including our movie reviews, visit our website, norestfortheweekendpodcast.com. Please remember to like, rate, and subscribe on your favorite podcast app. And once again, just want to say thanks to my good friend, James Oxford, for joining me here today. And for Behind the Rabbit Productions, I'm Jason Godbey. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.